Hello.
Hello.
I gotta fix my name. I'm not Angel tonight. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right? How are you?
Doing pretty good.
How are you, Colin?
I'm good.
Oh,
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Did you end up getting sleep since you finished your work yesterday?
No.
Do you want to go sleep?
No, I'm good. I basically don't need to, or I didn't need to prep for this session, so it's all good. So we're just vibing.
I see.
Understood.
But what are you guys up to?
I'm just playing D&D.
Hanging out. Planning for the horrible future that you bestowed upon me last week.
yeah, what's
Oh,
that about, by the
Oh.
way?
Well, we're about to find out, so don't worry.
Yeah, I had a work off today, so we had a little barbecue with Charlie and Michelle's friends. The couple whose photo exhibition I went to a couple weeks ago, actually.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. What have you been up to, Jamie?
Not much. Oh, I had my day off yesterday, which was very nice. And then I got to go home early today because I was supposed to be training my new people. So I got in at 10, helped out on the floor till 9, and then I was supposed to be training the new people from 9 till 2:30, which is ridiculous. But anyway, but then they are all doing so well that they were already just kind of working on their own on the floor. And around 11, I looked at my manager and I was like, there's just nothing else I can do. Like there's there's way too many people right now as well on the floor for how busy it is, and we keep just getting in each other's way. I don't know what else I can do. And she said, you could take some time off. And I said, what? Then I came home, I ate my lunch, I slept, I woke up, I ate dinner, I slept again. Now I'm here.
Living the life.
Yeah, I have been absolutely dying this past week with the work, and especially because I absolutely hate my manager. Like I have never in my life come closer to quitting on the spot than I did on Saturday. There was a point where I looked down at the time clock and I almost very, very almost just clocked out and went home, quit on the spot, but I didn't. We're still here. We're good. I despise that person. You know how much I love this job. My hatred for this manager has single-handedly turned every single day into dread.
And they're the only one?
Only manager. And that's fine. Hopefully, Landon's a plan to jobs in the Harrisonburg area, so hopefully that will go through. And then I can go to a store over there and not stay here.
Gotcha.
But yeah, otherwise doing well.
Cool.
Get my sunflower seeds.
Alrighty then. We got a session to get to then. So, let's see here. Dalton, could you give the recap of last session?
Sure. Last session, we arrived to the outskirts of Glane, equipped our gas masks, and ventured in, finding a lot of destroyed buildings and just sort of a wrecked city. We found a potion shop. We found a newspaper stand. We opened up a vault in the potion shop, got some good potions, then ventured through it or around it, I guess, to a abandoned like cafe or coffee shop that Jamie enjoyed quite a lot. Um, Sort of looking through everything, we found a statue surrounded by various bodies, including a few minotaurs that, upon approaching the statue, the minotaurs got up. Um,
Just to say hello.
yes, to say hello. Aggressively say hello. Elan, at the beginning of the combat, teleported onto the statue where it began talking to him and asked him to be let out. He elected not to do that. We defeated the Minotaurs, and then it was established by, I believe, Neza that the statue contains a kraken. So, yes, letting it out, probably not the best idea. We then continued on our way a little bit, and Elan, while sneaking ahead, found a small camp with a bunch of those plague mask figures surrounding it. And I believe that's where we left.
Correct. So, as all of you start, you've just made the discovery that there are crows here. What are you guys doing?
Well, I sort of back up to the rest of the group and shut the door so that we won't be immediately heard or seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of say, some of those bird mask guys, group of them, are in there.
Around the time what we talked about happens,
Mm-hmm.
Colin. Yeah, okay. I think around this time, Neza just kind of goes, "Oh, fuck!" And then very quickly goes, "Okay, 1 second, I'll be right back." Pulls out
What?
the sketchbook. And may I enter my pocket dimension, please?
Sure. Neza pulls out her book, puts it down, jumps inside.
Yep. Go on.
What the fuck?
Now, is the book still there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna come up and take a look at it.
Can I please attempt to... I want to be... So, okay. May I please attempt to enact what we talked about?
So, what exactly are you doing?
Because... May I say it, like, actually out loud this
Yeah.
time? Okay. Because the distress signal went off, I'm going to attempt to teleport both Polydectes and Randall into the pocket dimension.
All right. So, for this, you're going to need to rewrite how this item works and then pull these two inside.
Okay.
So, how many successes are you wanting?
And I still don't know the benefit of choosing a higher number over a lower one.
Just the information I've shared with you.
Okay. going to aim for 8 successes.
8? Okay.
If I think that's gonna work.
Yeah, then go ahead and make your check.
I only have 11 dice total.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'm gonna... Okay, first try 8. Exactly on the dot.
Okay. Then, as you focus and reach out, you undo the locks on your bag. As you do this, you pull through these different targets. See, with 8, I'm gonna say Polydectes is gonna try to resist. Probably not gonna get it done. What's your power score, Neza?
6 at this point, I believe.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He's gonna need to get them all. Nope. So, Polydectes forcibly torn through, as well as Randall. As both of them enter into the bag, Polydectes' eyes are wild. And with 8, you bring them here, but you've rewritten the bag to be open for people to teleport inside. And at this moment, you begin to feel forces start to teleport inside of your book.
I can't attempt to then lock it again.
That's what the higher successes were for.
Gotcha. Even with the space and, like, time where people could, in theory, teleport in, there's no way to then again lock it, even allowing that little bit of a gap.
Oh, they're coming in almost immediately. These forces, these entities.
Great.
Because they were right outside. And Polydectes is gonna look to you. What have you done?
The distress signal went off. Are you guys okay?
We were under attack. The defenses were holding. Shit.
Okay. Stay here. Don't move yet. And she's gonna sort of half rise out of the pocket dimension and call out to the others. Can you guys jump in here, please? Very quickly.
What?
And then sink back down.
Huh?
Is there a lock on this door that I can activate?
Like an old rotten one. It's probably not going to stop anything.
I'll do it just to make myself feel better.
Okay.
And I guess hop into a book.
Gotcha. Hopping into a book.
So, go ahead and, dive into the pages. I don't think this is what the librarian meant.
Explore the world of books.
But as all of you hop in, inside this pocket dimension, you can see Randall, who currently is, like, groaning in pain as, Alon, he's been forcibly moved here. And, like, he was healing, but he also did have what is essentially, like, open heart surgery.
Yeah.
And he seems like, he's not in immediate danger of dying, but he's not in good shape. However, the thing that most catches your eye is, like, the spindling energy that begins to manifest. kind of all around this place, as on the sides of this wall, Estelle flowers are beginning to bloom around this pocket dimension.
Why? What did...
Why did you call us in here? We should be getting out of here.
I agree that we should be getting out of here, but they don't have gas masks and we're in the middle of Glane.
Why'd you bring him here?
Why
The
are they
distress
in
signal
here?
went off. That was for emergencies only. If the
Why didn't
defenses
you
were
call
holding, why
him?
would you activate it?
Why didn't you call him to check?
I did it so that you would know. I didn't have any other way to contact you.
Alright, we can fix this. Boudica, you can fly and you're the fastest, right?
Yes.
Alright. Exit the pocket dimension, please, and try to fly us as quickly as you can out of Glane. We'll all get out of the pocket dimension once we're out of the city, regroup, reconvene. The rest of us in here will try to hold off whatever threat is going to happen until we can get out.
Don't know if we can hold them off. Those Minotaurs really did a number on us.
Also, I'm immediately, like, at Randall's side,
Mhm.
like, just trying to keep him stable as much as I can.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a mental check, and this would be medical.
Okay.
When he's done with that, I'm gonna do something.
3.
3. You're working. Definitely some of the stitching probably was jostled a bit. Like, as you know, teleportation's almost kind of like falling in a lot of instances. And at this moment, you think if you keep with him, he'll be fine. But you, like, certainly by the time you would do your normal checks and fully finish with him, probably the inside of this pocket dimension is gonna break down.
Quickly, if you please, Boudica.
I'm gonna get.
I don't think we have enough time for that. I can get us out of here, but you all won't like it.
Like any option right now. Just what do you have?
Great, Veach is gonna activate the patron power.
Okay. Then as
Don't like
you
the sound of that.
draw your sword and kind of connect with this thing, what is your request?
Please get us out of this pocket dimension, preferably somewhere outside of Glane. We need to not be with whatever entities are getting in here.
Take you guys from this pocket dimension outside of Glane, surviving the things that are trying to get in. Okay. This would probably require 4 seals.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
Alright. Then, as all of you are here, Alon, you begin to feel a different force begin to radiate out of the sword, threatening to, like, consume the entirety of this space. And as it begins to move out, kind of like a spider web of energy, are all of you allowing yourselves to be taken by it?
Beach allowing it.
Gotcha.
Just trust me on this. Please.
I swear to
I
God,
don't.
if you're wrong, Vicha, again, I am. If you are a wrong Vicha again, I am going to be so mad.
I'm upset about it, but okay.
Yeah, Neza will allow it.
And then Celeste and Diana nervously will allow it as well, along with Randall and Polydectes. As as the power radiates out, momentarily you are consumed. And then you find yourselves kind of blinking, and then you're standing on a hill about a quarter of a mile outside of Glane.
I'm immediately continuing my work on Randall, trying to get him sort of squared away.
Gotcha.
Making sure that book stays closed.
A book is closed.
She'll probably like stand on it or something to make sure it stays.
Gotcha. Make a spirit check.
One success.
One success. You kind of, even with contact, feel this powerful magic continuing to try and like seep through, essentially.
Understood. But can I get a sense of how long it's gonna be till it actually breaks through?
Minutes, you think?
Oh, great. And in those minutes, I can't figure out a way to seal off the book so it doesn't manage to seep through.
How would you attempt to seal off the book?
So I know we can't stop anything from teleporting anymore. That's what the higher successes were for. Everything's broken now. But can we I guess I can't use any of the wards and bonds in the book because they're in the book.
Mm-hmm.
There is, however, a spell that she's done before that she might be able to remember. Ah! Goddamn thing. Which is, remember when we were running the water and we purified the buckets and we burned the inside of them?
Mm-hmm.
Do I get the sense that I could attempt to do that on just the inside of the pocket dimension from here? Or would it have to be sort of like we did the inside of the bucket, sort of scraping along the walls to purify it? Or would it have to be on the entire book?
You could attempt to roast the inside of this pocket dimension for probably at least some of the things who have the magical capabilities to come inside of this pocket dimension, who were there and who were, basically feeling all this happen. Like the lower level things, sure, they might be stopped by the fire. The higher level enemies, maybe not as much. It would be a contested roll with them.
Feel good about contested rolls.
Okay.
I've put like 20 levels into my mental stat. Alright. Okay, then that is what I will attempt to do.
All right. I'll roll first so you can see what you need to beat.
Okay. That's a lot of dice.
10 or up.
Okay. Dylan, you don't happen to have a Crohn's tonic, do you?
I actually do have one.
Would you be willing to allow me to borrow?
Sure. Yeah, 4 dice.
Thank you, I love you. $11.
Good, good. Then, as you focus in, there is this might against might, will against will, as you focus in and start to scorch the inside of this pocket dimension. And as your magic clashes with the magic of the main entity trying to come through, you are able to burn away the Estelle flowers. Momentarily, the being stops their onslaught.
Right. If that gives us a second to breathe. I think she might start flipping through to try to find wards and things to reinstate the security of the book.
Gotcha.
Right now, I'm fully focusing on Randall.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to get him back to a place where he's not actively getting worse.
And you'd be able to get there as you finish prepping him, and he'll give a nod. Thank you.
Sure.
And Diana would also be like rushing to his side, tending to him, doing everything that she could.
Diana, can you help me redo these stitches?
I can. Give me a moment. And she's going to start going through that process.
And I don't think Lana's like asking any questions or engaging with anyone else right now. He wants to focus entirely on this.
Mm-hmm. But before long, Randall's in good shape.
Service sits back and is like, okay. An explanation, please.
And Polydectes will say, the Impure, they appeared just moments ago outside the fortress of Cartham Gorse.
Hey. Neza? Hello?
Sorry, it's muted. I'm sorry for teleporting you guys in. I thought we were on the same page, that was life or death emergencies, not...
What did you want me to do? Not try and contact you?
No. I should have clarified before leaving. So, I'm sorry.
What was inside your book?
The pocket dimension, it happened after fighting, that fake Vicha.
You had an entire you had an entire pocket dimension magically appear in your book after fighting him, and you didn't think to tell us that.
I didn't really use it much.
It
was kind of more of a backup for emergencies.
And the flowers?
You just got out of an evil pocket dimension.
And the flowers growing on the walls? Do you know what that's about?
Something was trying to get in. When I brought you guys both in, it sort of broke down the protective barriers around the pocket dimension, so anything could attempt to get in. I'm looking through now to see if I can find a way to rebuild those. Right now, though, the threat should be stopped. I don't know what it was. Wait, I don't know what it was, do I, Colin?
You can try to make a mental or spirit check.
I feel very confident with which one I'm picking.
Okay.
Nine successes.
Definitely something on the level of a Nexus host was trying to get in.
Fair enough.
With lots of magical capabilities.
Something definitely on the level of an Nexus host. very capable with magic. But we beat it back for now. It would be okay.
Okay. And
So I'm gonna.
Vijay, what
Are
did your
you?
sword do?
It got us out.
How?
I. w- When I mentioned before that I was confident that I could keep it, um, the fake feature sealed within, it's because it has these on it. And Vicha will kind of show the. At this point, there would be 5 remaining seals
Mm-hmm.
on the sword. From what I can tell, when these seals are gone, it will be released. I had 9 before I had to get us out of there. Um, but that's the cost of asking it for a favor, it looks like.
Elon is just staring at the floor, and just in the back of his head, he thinks to himself, "Hey, my migraine's back."
It went away?
Yeah, it did for a little bit.
Hmm.
To think he's staring at the floor going, I am the only normal person here. I am the only normal person here.
I don't think he does that.
Neza, whatever was trying to get in there with us, are you sure you've kept it away for long enough? You might want to get rid of that thing entirely.
If restating these seals doesn't work, then I will burn the entire thing.
Okay.
By doesn't work, do you mean when that thing climbs out of there?
No, I mean,
Because that might be a little late.
I'm looking at the seals right now, and I'm about to attempt to reconstruct it. If that enchantment doesn't quite work, or I feel it's not solid enough, then I will physically burn the book before they have a chance to get back in. I'll be
Alright.
a bit uh, more handicapped again without a real source of magic, but I should remember enough of the spells, hopefully, to be able to at least be of some use.
Hmm.
Give me a second to concentrate, and then I'll.
Actually, right. Destroying. You should not destroy the dimension. I was not thinking clearly before. I keep an eye on it, but destroying the dimension would mean the magic it has would get loose, and that would not be good.
Okay, I'm perfectly fine with either. Just right now, I'm trying to make sure I have everything I need to set this back up. As she continues reading through the book.
Gotcha. So,
And
oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say Veach probably gonna get to pacing, kind of eyeballing dysystole with the worried expression, but he'll probably just be kind of walking kind of a perimeter around the little area we have.
Okay.
Uh, Elon is going to take this time, now that we're not in the city anymore, to try and clean the filters on the masks.
And you could do that. Diana and Celeste would help too. Basically restarting the clock.
Yeah.
But Neza, you're looking for potential spells and wards and that sort of thing, correct?
Yeah, anything to be able to block up the pocket dimension again.
Gotcha. There are certainly a few of those. It would more so be the complexity in the layers of wards, because most pocket dimensions are heavily warded so that people can't teleport in or out. Because that can be all sorts of bad. especially if the teleport's like off target, like just as a safety precaution, then you're in the middle of nowhere and probably like spaghettified. But also, if you have people teleporting in, that's an open highway for friends and foes. So it's kind of like taking a sledgehammer and putting a hole in a brick wall. It is, especially like with the 8 success level, that was quick, making sure it would work, like just quickly powering through and getting people inside no matter what. So the hole is jagged. You could begin to patch that up, but it would require time, specific wards and what they would do to like be placed there, and if possible materials to help bind the magic, because if there's no material, then usually someone with enough time would just slowly unravel the ward because it's not like locked into anything. Kind of like unscrewing the door hinge and then just carrying away the door.
Very fun. What kind of materials would does the book say I would need?
I mean, usually gemstone is the best, precious metals, different sorts of relics or objects to help focus the magic and to place their natural energy within the book. Like, all of these things are potential options.
Looking at the... I don't assume I just carry that around, but...
Does Neza voice that she needs some?
Well, I think she does, but she would also sort of pull out the now useless dimensional lance transmitter, because I know that those are also common artificing materials. She'll try to like look there, and then she'll also say, does anyone happen to have any, I don't know, more magically inclined items, like a gemstone maybe, or some sort of precious metal?
Alon passes Neza his onyx protective talisman he made right before the Meraviglia. Basically a bag full of onyx that's been exposed to various forms of magic. Maybe it'll help. It's supposed to be protective.
Oh, thank you. I'll be very careful. Thank you. Right. I'm going to double check what time it is as she gazes towards the sky, and I've figured out how to
It's
look
midnight.
at the calendar. It is midnight. I suppose this is probably a good time as any to rest up after that fight, now that we're outside of the city, where filters are going to have a chance to be cleaned. I saw you guys doing that earlier. Then we can try again in the morning after we regroup and figure out what to do. I'm gonna stay up and work on reconstructing this.
You want a hand with that? I'm not the most inclined towards magic specifically, but I know enough about dimensions I could maybe help.
For the purposes of aided, would that help, Colin? Under the Archwizard Spellbook successes list at the very bottom?
If Vicha contributed something magically, I would say yes.
But just knowledge about dimensions and being able to poke around and find the right spots might not.
Yeah, 'cause if you were attempting to like manipulate the inside of that dimension, like Vicha would probably, I'd be more inclined to give that. At this point, it is like specifically wards and like putting up the wards here, which Vicha doesn't have like really any experience with.
That is fair.
I feel like at this point I've pretty much got it. But it might be helpful to set up a watch of some kind.
Alright. I can take first watch.
I'll take second.
I'll do third.
I'll come with you on third.
Okay.
How about on the second watch?
Oh, I was gonna also volunteer to help out on the second watch. I'll be
Oh,
done with the
well,
spell by then.
I'll help the first one then.
Sounds good. Now we all got pairs.
I don't mind the company.
Gotcha. Then, are all of you, but people on first watch in Neza, heading to bed?
Yes.
All right. Then, see, remind me again who was on first. Who's on first?
Mm.
I'm on first.
I showed that to
I'm
my
on
younger
first.
I showed that to my younger cousins, and they were not appreciative.
They just don't have taste.
They just don't.
It was Vicha, and then Boudica decided to tag along.
Gotcha. Then Vicha and Boudica on watch. Both of you make physical checks for me.
Oh. What's happening to my body, dude?
It's getting older.
In this
But you
one-
age like fine wine.
Thank you so much.
That's gonna be 4 for Vicha.
Okay, not bad. Well, those
Yeah,
are coins.
sorry. I know. I know.
They're very shiny.
Booty is so good that she rolls a d2.
I mean, really, every single die you roll is a d2, either success or failure.
So
close.
true.
This is big brain. Gotcha. So, as both of you watch, you would see a dark shape moving across the towers of Glane momentarily, like the moonlight catching off of this creature's massive form. As it stares out through the city, you think the owner of Glane now has an understanding of y'all's presence here.
Great.
Great.
But at this time, Neza, are you attempting to work in the wards?
I am, yes, and she's drawn a ritual circle and taking a little more than an hour to cast it.
Okay. Ritual circle taking a little more than an hour. Then I must ask, what specifically are you wanting the wards to do?
I'm
Be-
wanting the ward. Oh, sorry.
Because the complexity and the airtightness of what you're placing on the wards will help to reflect how strong they are. A very wily mage can beat a far more powerful one if you're sneaky, if you set up the wards the right way, and vice versa. A sneaky mage can get past even some of the most powerful wards.
Neza is attempting to set up the wards in such a way that they prevent any creature that is not explicitly being dragged along by her own will and intention from going into the pocket dimension of their own power. So leaving something open for, like, so that way we just don't close the entire thing off if I'm like trying to go in the normal way into the pocket dimension, and so is Vicha, but Vicha just gets blocked off because I fucked up the ward. But any not explicitly invited and escorted creature should not be able to gain entry, and especially not if they're trying to do it on their own.
Okay. So, the wards prevent any creature that is not explicitly being touched by Neza's will and intention from entering into the pocket dimension under their own power.
Yes.
Okay.
That should cover things too, like if they're trying to be sneaky about it and being like, well, you want to see me again, so I have your will. Like, no, fuck off. I'm not explicitly guiding you in. It doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
Gotcha. Then go ahead and make a mental check. As I'm assuming you are using the onyx to help bind these words.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. Alright, then that is going to be mental with... Ooh, I will use... How many is that? 11 minus 5 is 6. I will use 5 hero points.
Okay.
Okay, that's significantly better. 9 successes.
9 is significantly better. Then you wrap those wards in your magic. And as you kind of step back, you kind of allow your magical consciousness to seep into the book a bit. And you feel the wards are strong. You've plastered over the hole, you've kind of rebuilt things over it. And now there are safeguards and defenses.
Okay. I'm sorry, could I slide? No, we're good. I
Okay.
was gonna slide in an alert system if something tried to teleport in, but I assume that's kind of already there.
I mean, if you, again, because it's all about the wording of the word. So if you wanted to do that, you try to make another mental check.
On top of not adjusting what I've already done, but just a quick on top of that. Like a
Yes.
little thin line around it. Like the plastic lining on a hot paper cup.
Yeah, this is like a magical tripwire.
Yeah. That is 7 successes for that.
Gotcha. Then you're able to set up the magical tripwire.
Very fun. And after that, I think she's just hanging out until second watch comes.
Wonderful. Then Boudica and Vicha, are you two doing anything?
So I mean, I wasn't expecting to get yeeted outside of this here town when we were already kind of exploring it. You know, shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
This is Boudica talking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think Veach's just kind of breathe a long sigh and say, I wasn't expecting us to be leaving the city so quickly either. That was, well, not a situation I expected.
No, you had a really nifty power that helped us out.
I'm glad I could help, but I don't like the seals on this thing. being weakened. I just, as fast as you are, I don't think you could have made it in time with the rate those flowers were coming in. And, as winded, um, as beaten up, honestly, as we were from the Minotaurs, I didn't see another way out.
Of course, and I'd worry on if I was going to be able to get everyone out of the city. It's like you said, we're beaten up from the Minotaurs, but it was quick thinking. I am glad that we ran into you, Vicha. I think you're a great addition to the team.
I think an expression definitely crosses Veach's face, but he'll kind of swallow back what he was going to say and just kind of nod. Well, I want to help you guys fix this. It's not really my fight, but maybe I can do better for the people of Lords than I did for the people of the arena.
And I appreciate that. And I know I'm not much of a smarty pants, but if there's anything I can do to help you with what you were trying to achieve at the arena, I could help you out after all this.
I appreciate that. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Um, baby steps. We've got an apocalypse to solve first.
True. That is true. I think Boudica's gonna pull out something to knit while she, like, to passively knit while she watches.
Gotcha. And Veach, are you just passively watching as well?
Yep, he's probably, once the conversation has lapsed, he'll be probably more fully on alert, especially after seeing the figure by the towers. But yeah, yeah, kind of actively paying attention to the watch, but maybe passively kind of keeping an eye on what Boudica's knitting, just out of a little bit of curiosity.
Okay. What are you knitting, Boudica?
Boudica is knitting a hat.
Always good.
Yes.
Then are you turning the watch over to Polydectes and Neza? Eventually?
Yeah.
Yep, and Vicha will warn them of what they saw.
Polydectes will nod. We'll keep our eyes out.
You can let me know. And thank you again, Vicha. Getting us out of there.
And he'll just kind of, I think, give a tight nod and kind of make his way to, his tent or bedroll or whatever he's got set up.
Mm-hmm. But, Neza, go ahead and make a physical check for me. For the watch.
The two blindest idiots on
Yeah.
the fucking watch at the same time.
One success from Polydectes.
You won from me too.
All right. Then,
Combined, we are really killing this.
Maybe. Polydectes is just going to be, making sure to watch Glane, though.
Yeah, gotcha. Neza's, I imagine, doing what she usually does on watches, which is, making sure to not let anything snake up on them. Watching Glane, but also watching the zombie-infested landscape we find ourselves in.
Mm-hmm. You and your two physical. Sharp as a hawk.
I was about to say I have the spirit to back it up, but I don't have that either. I
Yeah.
have 2 spirit. But I know I have a vague idea of tactics, and I know the top of the hilltop is where I can see everything if it were to be there. Which is where we are. If I could see, that is.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine, though, at some point she'd attempt to speak.
Okay.
I am sorry about pulling you guys in. When the signal went off, I panicked because I thought it was... I don't know. Something really wrong was going on. I should have checked in with you, though.
It was my fault as well. Perhaps I could have fashioned something else to contact you.
Alright. We know for the future, though. What are you and Randall going to do in the morning? I can scry on the place to see if it's safe, but if it's not...
We'll have to be here. I think that's the only thing.
The pocket dimension, I patched it back up, so it should have the words and everything on it, well enough at least. And I also put in a sort of tripwire, so that I would get alerted if somebody were trying to break in. It should have enough oxygen for one creature for 24 hours, which, if I remember correctly, is about the same as the filters on our masks.
Alright. So, half that time, if me and Randall are in there?
Roughly, yeah. Also try to... I don't know, maybe I could try to duplicate one of the masks, so that way you guys can... I don't know. One person can be out, the other can be in the pocket dimension. The person who is out can hop inside if danger hits, to maximize the oxygen we've got.
Do you have the mithril and things for it?
Think so, no. I was gonna attempt to magically recreate it from scratch, kind of like with the glasses, but I don't think that would work very well.
Magical metals are harder to recreate. Besides, I think you probably just plucked the materials for the glasses, for not just the glasses themselves, from somewhere else.
Oh, really?
Likely.
Poor Brayowen kid has just lost his glasses, and his parents are gonna be so mad at him.
I mean, yes, this is one of the worst kept secrets. Sometimes people just don't lose things. They're just the targets of dubious mages. Especially if they have a little bit of coin. You might have one mage who knows that the kid will always get their glasses replaced, and so they'll just keep on targeting that kid anytime they need glasses.
And so my favorite hat. Oh, I left it in the first year I started at the academy. I just lost it one day. It was right there on my bed table, and then it was gone.
Might have been in one of your classmates practicing a spell. Or you just
I
could have
knew
lost it.
Bernicia was a vicious little bitch.
Whoa, we don't have time to unpack that.
I am glad you are both safe, though.
I don't know if safe is the right word, considering where we are.
Ivan Hardy, maybe? We
Right.
don't still have Kayleigh's sword with us, do we?
You'd still have that.
Do we remember who picked it up? It was Boudica, wasn't it?
Believe so.
However, Kayleigh's sword was mithril. Do you think that would be enough for one mask?
We could melt down his sword.
Necessarily want to, but right now also it's not like Boudica's intending on getting a huge amount of use out of it. I've seen the way she's been looking at my dad's act. I feel like he would prefer if it were used for a good purpose rather than rotting in her weapons bag.
I guess so. We can
In the
take
morning.
time then. It would... I have some tools on me. I can get to fixing with it and see how far I can get.
And I know I don't know much about artificing, but I can try to help any way I can.
Right. I don't know. There's also the possibility that me and Randall just wait out here. I mean, a lot more place to go and to run.
And it's not like the glasses were a one and done thing either. He can activate them again and again if needed.
Yes, that's true.
And they do look good on you too, so that works as well.
Oh, and like he's not like wearing the glasses. He kind of like has them tucked into his collar.
Fair enough. Well, it's comment stands.
Mm-hmm. And he'll just nod. Thank you. And will you continue on with the watch?
I think she will stare in silence at the fire for a little bit before beginning to speak again. Oh, there's also something I meant to talk about before we left. But then we had to leave so soon and the whole fake feature thing happened.
Of course. What
You
do you
know,
want
then
to
I
talk
meant-
about?
Well, first of all, how has it been now that we can speak a little bit more freely? How has it been in Gartham Gorse?
It was good. I mean, I basically had a lab set up. It was good to be able to work and fix things. I mean, Randall had a few ups and downs, but we, of course, managed it. And more than enough mithril there, though. Now I'm kind of kicking myself. Now that I suppose I'm gone, the fences are there, but they required me in large part to operate them. Be harder getting inside Cartham Gorse, especially if, well, the impure get inside.
Suppose. but we can figure it out. We've done more impossible things.
That's very true.
And worst case scenario, I just do what you just suggested. Like, Pernicia stole my hat, I can steal the mithril back. Trying to, at least. If all of our efforts go to vain.
Yeah, there's that possibility.
And, I meant to... Can I make a spirit check call and see if this is a good time to talk about it?
It's not.
Okay. Then she will end there.
Okay. Then are you doing anything else on your watch?
Keeping an eye out.
All right. Eventually, then, will you pass it off to Diana and Alon?
I think so.
Then, Alon, go ahead and make a physical check for me.
5.
5. Very nice. Then, you're keeping a sharp lookout. And nothing much really changes on your watch. But Diana's keeping a lookout as well, and she's just kind of pacing around the camp and is occasionally checking in on Randall.
Is everything holding?
Yeah, everything's holding. He's always been a sleep fighter. It doesn't look like he's thrown a stitch yet, though.
That's good.
Thank you for saving him again.
Of course. Gonna have to think up a betting situation or something more long term, I guess.
We'll have to figure it out.
Yeah. Guess we'll also have to figure out whether he and Polydectes are just gonna set up a camp out here for a while we're in there, or...
I don't know. Part of me just wants to stay out here and make sure they're both protected. But then that would
Wouldn't blame you.
mean leaving you alone.
Yeah, I also am not quite sure how I feel about trying to set up a camp out here, be too visible.
Yeah. Stuck between two dads in a hard place, I guess.
But we can talk Celeste to keep a watch over him.
Maybe. I don't know. She seemed pretty fixated on Vicha, and I saw her hovering maybe a little closer to Neza.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
We'll see what we can convince people of.
Yeah.
Whatever the case, we just gotta make it through.
Yep. Improvise.
Adapt.
Always where things end up.
Always. It's alright. This will be like clockwork for us.
Right.
We've already done
Sure.
some scouting. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, don't say those words in that order.
I'm sorry. You're right.
It's okay.
Oh, goodness. And I think Diana would just kind of start staring into the fire, just kind of dissociating a bit.
Alon will sort of sidle up next to her and put an arm around, but just keep watching the distance.
Gotcha. At this point, then, the sun would begin to rise, and all of you would be able to take a complete rest. But now, the day is yours.
Does Randall wake up or does he stay unconscious?
I mean, he, like, wakes up momentarily, but then he's, like, going back to sleep.
Okay. Just while he is conscious, I will just sort of really quickly lean in and say, any particular complaint areas before you try and get some more rest?
Doctor, I think it's bad. I'm suffering from a broken heart, an achy breaky heart.
Damn it. Go back to bed. Walk away.
You just got dad joked.
Dad jokes? I sure hope he does.
Surrounded path.
Bet. Then, as this happens, what are you guys doing?
Boudica, do you happen to have Kaylee's sword still?
Remember, did I pick it up?
Yeah.
I did? Okay. Then Boudica will reach into, you know, her tiny sack and pull out this massive sword. Or just this sword. It's not massive. Yeah, sure do.
I think over breakfast, making sure everyone's within earshot, so then continue the conversation. We were thinking about what to do last night. I'm gonna try to scry on Cartham Gorse to see if it's safe to return to. If it's not, though, I patched up the pocket dimension and added a little bit of a tripwire, so it should alert us if somebody tries to teleport in. And it should prevent them as well, but the alerting us is the important part as well. With the pocket dimension, there's about 24 hours of oxygen for one creature in there. If Randall and Polydectes can't return to Glane, there's the possibility that we fashion another gas mask using Kaylee's sword. Keep one in the pocket dimension, one walking about Glane with us, and then if fighting or a tight situation breaks out, the second one can also hop in the pocket dimension to be a bit safer as well, and conserve our oxygen. What do you guys think?
I see two problems with that. The first being, I really don't think anyone should be going back in that pocket dimension. It's great that you got it warded up, so hopefully things won't come crawling out after us, but I really don't think we want to risk any kind of temptation there if there's any kind of holes in your wards. And also, uh, like I mentioned to you last night, things in the city know we're there now. Taking either of them in there with a gas mask would be inherently unsafe. That's not the situation either of them is fit to be dragged into.
Assuming they can't return to Cartham Gorse, then what would your suggestion be?
Would probably be best for them to stay out here, hide out as best they can, but we can only be in the city for so long anyway before we're forced out by lack of oxygen. So we go in the city, see if we can get that dragon scale, meet them back outside, and then we head back after that.
Do that. Assuming they're both okay with it. She'll cast a glance over to Randall and Polydectes.
Randall is zonked, but Polydectes will nod. That seems acceptable.
I'll go try to scry, though, on Gartham Gorse to see if it's okay to be sent back to. Probably a bit more gently than ripping you guys in.
Probably a good idea.
And after finishing breakfast, Neza will do so.
Okay. So then, go ahead and make a mental check.
Will do. I don't know why I always double check my mental stat. I know what it is.
I would hope by now.
Hey, it changes almost every level up.
I won't say
9
anything.
successes.
Okay. Then, as you kind of focus in, your consciousness expands. And as it does, you begin to view Cartham Gores from the air. As you would now be able to see what Polydectes saw. A large force of, the devout who have been transformed by the virus into this litany of forms are there. You are able to see a massive beast that seems to stalk around now the broken walls of Cartham Gorse. It is perhaps 40, 50 feet tall, multiple snapping heads. But that's not the thing that actually catches your attention most. The thing that catches your attention most is the entity who seems to be standing on top of the wall and staring directly up at you. At this point, they seem to have breached Cartham Gorse.
Yeah, she'll shut down the scry.
Okay.
Holy shit, you guys are so much safer out here. I know it's wild to say with Glane right there, but that's not good.
Guess we dodged an arrow then.
Yeah, I would recognize the first beast as what Gregory turned into, right?
Gregory and the other Briarhearts, yes.
And the other Briarhearts. Well, other than the hordes upon hordes of impure, there's also that huge creature that, I know Vici, you weren't there, but Alana Boudica, you remember what Gregory and the other Briarhearts turned into. That's there. As well as some other creature that seems to stare directly at the point I was scrying from.
What
Who
did it
was
look
that?
like?
Blue and white, mostly, carrying some large staff.
What?
That's... oh, fuck. I know who that is.
Mom?
Here. And she'll
What?
hold out a hand to... I guess Diana now. I'm gonna share the memory with you. Can confirm more tonight, but...
Okay. I want to
So-
see it.
Haze will then activate her Torvian and share the memory of what she just saw at Cartham Course.
Gotcha. What are you doing in this moment, Alon?
Under the impression that Neza can't do this to two people at once, Alon will sort of just go up behind Diana and place a hand on her shoulder.
All right. She doesn't take the memory well, Neza. And Alon, you would be able to hear this sharp gasp as her body would just begin to shake. And as soon as
her now.
as soon as the memory stops, like eyes just wet, tears rolling down, she just wordlessly turns and just hugs you tightly, Alon. Never wanting to let you go. Never wanting to lose another. That's her. That's her. She's there. Dad, she's there.
Okay. Okay.
Why are two Nexus hosts and an army descending upon Gotham Gorse?
And I think Diana is just going to turn to you. I don't know. You said it yourself. You were easy enough to track.
Rose.
We need to move fast. Do I see nearby anywhere that is not in the sort of like gas mist shroud, but is also a little less obvious, like I don't know, a valley or some area of particularly dense foliage or anything like that?
You would see an area of a few turned over wagons and carts. That's about the most cover that's there. But it does offer some shelter and protection.
We can set them up in there under the carts. Won't be perfect camouflage, but it'll be something.
Polydectes will nod. All right, I can do that. If you help me move Randall, we'll get over that way.
Let's move.
Gotcha. Then, relatively quickly, you'd be able to get Polydectes and Randall to that cover.
I would like to leave someone behind to keep a watch over them. I am looking at Celeste, but I'm not trying to insinuate too heavily.
Celeste would see you looking, and she would just say, I'm not leaving Vicha at all. All of you are crazy.
That's valid. I do not say that in character, but it is.
Inner
I think his
monologue.
face betrays that, though.
Boudica will say it. That's valid.
I can stay. Make sure they're all right.
I will sort of whisper to her to try and not be heard by anyone else but her. You don't have to.
It's all right. I don't know if I'm in the shape now to go through that place.
Only if you're sure.
Just promise you'll see me soon.
Promise.
She'll give you another long hug.
All right. We need to move now. And Owen puts on the mask and starts jogging back towards Glane.
Gotcha.
Before we leave, Neza will very, very quickly turn around and go towards Polydectes. Okay, 1 activation is a stop and look. 2 activations in a row is a get us out of here immediately kind of thing.
All right.
She'll jog to catch up with the group.
Peaches heading with the group.
Gotcha.
Probably still again, closer to Celeste.
Fair. And Celeste just gonna look down at you. Over under for how long it takes this to go tits up.
God, out of character, I don't know how over-unders work.
I don't either. I've had it explained to me like 3 times and I still don't get it.
Give a more or less like ballpark estimate of time.
You take the over or an under of a certain number.
More than 2 hours,
Oh.
less than 4. Just
Okay.
I think it's gonna be probably less than 2 hours before something comes our way.
You know, I'm gonna try to be optimistic today. I'll take the over.
See,
At this point,
well, I hope you're right.
masks on as you wander back into Glane once again.
Again for the first time.
For the first time in forever?
Like the fog has lifted.
Thank you, Shin.
I fucking wish it did.
Also, that was the wrong song I sang. I accidentally
It
sang
100%
Mm.
was. That was
From-
from Tangled.
Yeah.
is this the newspaper store?
It is.
Okay, I'll pop it open.
Gotcha. Then as you pop it open and look inside, you're able to see pretty much a, like, destroyed interior. Like, it is overall just kind of ransacked. Kind of desks and tables torn over, and the newspapers not within the glass here have actually turned to mush.
Gotcha. Check this door over here. This is a closet, or
It appears to be a door to the outside.
It won't let me. Thank you, Colin.
You seem to be struggling.
You saw me. I
Mhm.
couldn't move. It
So-
kept being like, nuh-uh.
So, Alon, as you enter into this space, you can see that there is seemingly like a courtyard that was once a part of a street with old rotten benches around. And you would also be able to see that in the middle of this courtyard is a statue of this grand looking dragon on top of what appears to be like a building, wings splayed out. And there is a plaque on the bottom. And this statue appears to be made out of like polished marble.
Okay. I'll give the plaque a read.
It's in Voixian, and it says,
Mm-hmm.
Mandrax, may his wings forever shade us. Seems to be like
Uh,
an honorific.
is it painted or is it just pure white?
Just pure white.
Okay.
It seems like
All right.
if there had been any paint, it has long since washed off.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. On.
Then, as you turn the corner here, you would be able to see that there appears to be some shredded up newspaper right there.
Like deliberately?
Like deliberately, yes. And also some pieces that look to have been burnt. Probably not recently, like they're long cold, but someone had set up a fire here of some kind.
So the shredding looks to be like they're making kindling.
Correct.
Okay. What's in there?
As you look into this place, it appears to be like a printing press room.
Okay. Can I spot anything that looks worth salvaging?
Thank you.
Um, let's see. As you go through, I mean, there are a series of different, um, like prints and molds that are still there. You'd also be able to see that there appears to be this intact mold that you could probably use to see what the last newspaper ever printed here was.
I will take a look at that.
Gotcha. It would take you a beat as you would go and begin to look through it, but here, let me see where this is. This is the article that you would uncover.
Oh, that's not a great thing to read, knowing what happened to Glane.
What's there?
Oh, is there an expansion on the international moose count?
Hmm?
Very cool.
Is someone reading this out loud?
Yeah.
So Veach and Celeste? Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will read it out loud.
Okay.
okay.
Which is $9 for the drink to be provided. It starts at 7 p.m. Expect to last till 9:30. Huh. And the name doesn't ring any bells to me.
Which name in particular?
Herman.
Herman Legrau? No.
Yeah. Okay. Didn't think so.
Oh, international moose count! She exclaims.
Also, interesting. In this paper, they call it the primordial ring, but in the cafe, they call it the ring of change. It's odd. Guess they were interchangeable here.
Suppose. Neza hadn't heard of anyone doing that either, had she? Because we tried that last session, and Alon hadn't heard of anything being referred
Oh,
to
no.
as the Ring of Change.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd never heard of the ring of change, but
Mhm.
it's just, but from context, both are referring to this ring, and it's weird that it has two names here.
Yeah. I wonder if it's one of those weird translation things, like it's a local name and a scientific name of some kind, maybe.
Maybe. From this angle, can I spot anything over here?
Looking inside, that appears to have been like part of a street that has been cut off by rubble, but you would hear the sounds of chattering crows.
Like mask fellows are over in that direction. But I also see something straight up north.
There's also a hallway down here towards the south that I think might lead up towards the crows.
Oh, there's also a door over here. I will attempt to slowly peek through this door.
Gotcha. As you do, then, it appears to be like a destroyed general store of some kind that has been mostly collapsed in over the years.
Hmm. Okay. Um, Giving it a quick once over. Does anything look intact?
No, this appears to be one of the things that has been taken by time. Very little of Glane seems to have been preserved, and this is just a small hovel amongst the destruction.
Gotcha. All right. North, west, or south?
I said I think
Thank you.
south leads a little more towards the crows, so maybe let's try north first.
Okay. Spotted something in this direction. So I will be moving slowly.
Okay. As you approach, you see a dead crow. It
Dead crow.
amongst kind of the ruins of this destroyed street, you can see a crow that has a spear through its chest. Some type of trap, likely.
Can I tell if this was a recent thing?
Make a physical check. Or mental, up to you.
Or mental? Can I use doctor?
You could.
5.
5. It doesn't seem to be within the last year, but certainly it's not like decades old. If you had to guess, like 2 to 3 years is probably your time frame for when this thing died.
Okay.
Uh, Just out of curiosity, kind of if I step forward and inspect the spear, are there any markings on it or anything?
Make a physical check.
It's garbage.
Mhm.
Um, we're gonna go ahead and, just for funsies, throw 3 hero points. Okay, 3 successes.
Gotcha. Then, as you're looking over the spear, no distinct markings. It seems to have just been carved out of this, like, gnarled wood. Pretty hastily set up weapon. But, as you're looking at it, your eyes then go to a nearby bit of shifted stone, Vicha. And as you go and investigate, you overturn the stone kind of in the rubble, and beneath you can see some buried materials. There are 3 heal 3 potions here, 100 feet of rope, some long, like, decayed rations, but a few cans and jars of what seems to be, like, pickled onions and things like that. There also is, like, a small envelope tied in twine.
I'll kind of, I'll probably pass the potions to Dylan to distribute. I'd like to, check out the envelope.
Gotcha. Are you opening it up?
Before I do that, I assume there's nothing scrawled on, like, the back or anything?
No, there's not.
Okay. Y- Yeah, I'm curious. I will open the envelope.
Surprise! It's anthrax.
Oh no.
Well, we're already decked in hazmat gear, so
Yes. And you can take 2 hero points, Jamie, because
What the fuck was it?
there is a puff of like this bright red powder that is filtered away due to your masks. It was trapped.
Yes.
It was anthrax.
Um, Looking past that, though, Vicha, there is a note written in common. It says, South Tower safe, ventilation is active.
Gotcha. And Vicha will read that out to the others.
hey,
Looking around, do we see a tower to our south?
There
Anything
are,
that might match this?
there are towers everywhere. But as you're
Ah,
looking, connected to the main castle, there is a tower that's more south and seems to rise above the rest. The problem is, like, as you're looking, Boudica and Vicha would note that that group of towers seemed to be where a certain dragon was hanging out last night.
Oh,
well, over there is probably where this is referring to, but that's where Boudica and I saw the dragon.
Oh, by the way, Alon, I forgot to mention at the end of our watch, Boudica and Veach saw a dragon on theirs.
I assume it was said to both of you at the same time.
Yeah.
Fair
well,
enough.
we were on separate watches,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Oh, that's
Also,
right.
that's not
I
something
forgot
Neza
you
would
guys
have
weren't paired
forgotten
together.
to mention.
I'm assuming as well, Vicha would have just swung back around and been like, hey, in case you didn't know,
Yeah.
this thing.
Fair, yeah.
All right, well, let's get back on it. I got 3 heal 3 potions.
Yes.
That regains how much?
The heal 3 potions, let me check
I
on
have a
that.
heal 2,
Mhm.
and I know that's 20.
I believe this is 30. Let me check specifically for you.
It says heal 3 is 30.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll keep hold of 1, and I'll give 1 to Boudica and Vicha each.
Cool, cool.
Oh, then Vicha would accept that.
a heal
Heal 3
3 potion.
potion.
And that's, you said it heals 30 stamina?
Yes.
Dope.
All right, on it. Let's go down to the southern hallway and try to make our way around.
Very cool.
Did I? Never mind. Yeah, waiting for Boudica.
Sorry, my token's being silly. No! No!
You can use Wasad as well, if your mouse
What
is glitching.
No, it's I'll like move it a little bit, but then it'll say token blocked, but there's nothing there.
If
Are
you're
you
trying,
trying to,
if you're running it through a
bi-
wall, then
No, it wouldn't be through a wall, it would be like through a completely unbroken space, and it'll still be like, nope. Token blocked.
Well,
Now it's working fine now.
stop.
Now that
Wait,
everyone
Neza, don't go there.
acknowledged it.
Don't go ahead. far. And I'll sort of go up against this wall and sort of motion, like, make a motion with my hand that show, like, beak, face, round corner. Do I still hear, like, the chittering or whatever?
You would, yes.
Okay. And I will sort of look around for everyone to give me, like, a ready nod.
Neza's ready.
Veecha would not.
Because let's freaking do this, but she's not saying things. She's nodding. She's communicating through brain.
Gotcha.
And you
I
would
see that guy.
Yep, you would see them around a fire and seemingly chattering with another in the distance. They don't see you yet.
Up just a little bit and take that shot.
Gotcha. Then we'll be entering a surprise round. Then with Alon, you going first. Go ahead and make for me a damage roll.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so that's 2 successes equaling 20 damage. These things don't count as eldritch, do they?
They would not.
Okay, then yeah, 20.
20. At the last possible second, it leaps to the side, expending all of its stamina to dodge your shot.
I will give Fighting Spirit to Boudica and then sort of duck around this corner to regain cover.
Gotcha. Who's up next?
Veecha can go next.
Okay.
See, he'll scoot around. Is this the one Alon fired on?
Yes.
Okay. He would probably kind of swoop forward to attack into it.
All right. You cut it down.
Yeah, nice. Okay. And then let's see. I believe I used 25 feet of movement before. So I think I can make it up to here, and then he'll be. Let's see. Ooh. Background action. He'll give know-it-all to Alon because Alon's now the only one he can see.
Gotcha.
And yeah, he'll be ending his turn here. Gonna stance up so that if the crow tries to go for the others, it'll have to go past him.
Awesome. Who's up next then?
Neza just needs to get sight line, so she's probably gonna move 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and can I attempt to fire on that crow?
You can.
Yes, that is going to be 4 successes for 11 each is 44 damage.
What does this attack look like?
It is another wizard spellbook attack. This time, though, I think she's a bit inspired by the earlier burning of the Estelle flowers, so it's more of like a little flame that sort of flickers around this crow's like feet before it can fly away.
Gotcha. Then this creature, as it readies itself, is burned to ash by you, Neza. And Boudica, by the time you're like pulling out your axe and rounding the corner, a massacre has already occurred. Light day at the office.
Oh, okay. Fine.
There were more yesterday, so keep an eye out.
Is there
Looking,
anything else
can
in
I?
this space?
Yeah, I was about to ask if I could sort of investigate this campsite really quickly.
Yep, so they have a series of boxes scattered around this place. And you would see most of them are larger, some of them smaller. You crack open one of the larger boxes, Neza. It's Estelle flowers. All the way down. Hundreds of them. Seems to be at this base camp they're moving Estelle flowers into Glane? Out of Glane? Hard to say. Alon, as you're looking through a smaller box nearer to the fire, though, you open it and you can see a key that looks to fit perhaps this door down there.
Okay. Do I see the giant box of Estelle flowers?
Oh yeah, there are like many crates around here, all filled.
Damn. What were you about to say, Reacher?
You said there were more yesterday. How many more?
Maybe 3?
Interesting.
When I came in through that door above us, I saw 5 or 6. I was almost positive.
He's just nodding. He would want to get a look at the box of Estelle flowers. I assume, looking at them, this would be his first time running into them in campaign.
Yes,
He's never seen these before, right?
correct.
Aside from in the pocket dimension.
Aside from in the pocket dimension, yeah. But these aren't something like he would recognize from any books or anything he's read before.
Make a mental check.
Gotcha. Let's see. Exceptional mind added to that. I'll throw 3 hero points just for funsies. 5 successes.
Don't recognize them.
Okay.
What is this room? Is this like an opening or is it an interior space?
It is an opening. This would have been part of a street at one point, with it kind of at the base of this kind of like upward road that leads deeper into Glane. It's like a crossroads.
Neza?
Yeah?
I want to set all these flowers on fire, but I'll give away our position. Convince me not to.
No matter what we do to these Estelle flowers here, it's not going to matter. They have so many more. They can regrow them in an instant. Small impact we make here is not worth giving away our position.
And then Alon makes over to the door. Also, just to sort of clarify, these the plague mask people, they had like tents set up or bedrolls?
No tents, no bedrolls, just a fire.
Just a fire.
Hmm.
Is there anything that looks like food?
Not that you can see, no.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll use the key and open up the door.
Gotcha. Then as you open it up, it seems to be in this room what once long ago was like a guard post that would have perhaps once like checked travelers and merchants going deeper into Glane. Kind of like a passport booth at an airport.
Okay. Is there like a logbook?
At one point there might have been. Paper is long since decayed.
Gotcha. Okay. Is there anything shut, like any drawers or a safe, maybe?
Looking around, there are like open drawers, but you don't see a safe or anything like that, no.
Okay. Also, another point. So far in our exploration of this place, have we been seeing a lot of skeletal remains?
Not very
Or have
many.
most of the bodies looked fresher than that?
Most bodies look fresher. The oldest bodies you saw were the Minotaur.
Hmm. Hmm. Go over to this door and slowly creak it open, trying to peek through.
It is locked.
Okay. Uh, is it a regular mundane lock?
It seems to be kind of on the outside, a more regular lock, yeah.
Okay. Can I try to look through it?
You can. As you look through the lock, you would see a passage on the other side that leads to a road that makes its way up to the heart of Glane.
Oh, here's an idea. When I look through it, do I see any creatures or people?
You do not.
I blink through the lock.
Ooh, what a move.
Can I unlock it from here?
Yes, you can. Can take a
Open up
hero
the door.
point.
Thank you.
Oh, good move, Alon. I was just gonna ask Boudica to kick it down.
You're noisy.
Would the key we used for the other door not have worked?
Maybe.
So right about that, Alon.
Then he
My
couldn't
methods aren't exactly
Show off his
subtle.
cool magic.
Then, as you're continuing to head up, is your goal to head to the southern tower, some other place? What is, like, in what direction are you trying to meander?
My vote's on the southern
From
tower.
from here, do we see any giant figures? Similar to what Vicha saw.
Not out and about, no.
Okay.
If
In
it's
that
in the
case, yeah, I guess
clouds, who knows?
fair enough. In that case, yeah, I guess make our way south. Um, Still trying to move quietly and if possible undercover.
Gotcha. Then, as you make your way south, quietly, undercover, all of you would notice workers, crows, and other members of the cult of the devout and the people of lords that have been infected. As you move through this area, they seem to be planting Estelle flowers, but also removing books and other finery. And they seem to be like stacking it in these great piles. Like honestly what you saw in Darmium. Same type of operation going on here.
Is from what I'm able to tell, do these impure look different? Like the gas or the haze is affecting them in any way?
It doesn't look like they're actually being affected. It looks like, honestly, this is their natural habitat.
Mm.
Like, they seem to honestly be moving a little bit quicker, a little bit more lively, in sync and more fluid with each other.
Yeah, but do we know exactly what the gas is, or just that it's toxic?
You don't know exactly what it is. I mean, it is like this miasmic gas, but who knows?
have an empty vial of some kind?
Probably.
Can I attempt to just cap a little bit of air in there?
Yeah,
Just a sample for later, and make sure it is very, very, very tightly sealed.
you can do that.
Just for analysis later.
Do we see anything bigger than those impure?
As you look around, you would see some bigger ones about. One that has like this acidic substance rolling down its front that stands 20 feet tall, and they're lurking about. You would see others that appear honestly more animalistic, moving quicker. They kind of have like a little bit of honestly fur to them as you look. A select few that are like carrying out metal seem to have like metal bonded to parts of their body. It's a assortment, Alon, kind of greater than you'd seen before. And you would also see a few of these strange like women with kind of like tattoos and symbols all around them, and they seem to be reviewing books and throwing them into what appear to be like sacks that may or may not be pocket dimensions to somewhere. It's like they're collecting all of these books and things.
Does it look like they're like opening them to check what they are, or just tossing all of them in?
There is kind of a checking process, like they'll check the cover, they'll skim through, but very quickly they can seemingly determine what they're looking for and toss it in.
Can I make any statements? I know I won't be able to tell like titles or anything like that from here, but like size, thickness, do they look as, sort of dilapidated as all the other works on paper we've found so far, or do they look a bit better preserved?
Make a physical or a mental check, up to you.
Two.
For physical or mental.
That was physical.
Physical? Some of the books would be larger, heavier tomes, and they would be more decrepit, kind of falling apart in places. Other smaller books, kind of the size of Neza's spellbook, seem almost perfectly preserved. And those ones seemingly aren't really checked. They're just automatically tossed into the bag.
How big of an operation does this seem to be? How many figures are milling around?
Taking what you're seeing as you're making your way to the southern tower and kind of expanding that to potentially all of Glane, you're pretty confident there's probably about 10, 12,000 here. Pretty large scale operation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hefty. You'd see that. As well though, as all of you are sneaking about, can I have all of you make physical checks?
What would you do if I said, "Hey Colin, make a physical check"?
I would. Against all of
Yay!
you.
I got 2 successes!
Oh, goody!
I'm gonna re-roll 3 of those.
Gotcha.
I got 5 successes.
All pretty good, all pretty good.
I got 4 total.
Okay. And what did Vicha get?
Vicha got 4.
All right. Then Boudica and Vicha would see this first with, I believe, Alon, Neza, and Celeste quickly, like, picking up on this. As you're making your way around, you hear kind of shouting and clicking from the creatures as all of you press yourselves against kind of the side of a wall, slinking into an alley, and you hear a voice say, "They're here! Be on high alert. The Prophet does not want them leaving. They must be returned to the fold." And Boudica, you get this sick feeling in your stomach, and you think you know what you're going to see, but you have to peek anyway. There's no way around it. And slowly, as you inch out, your eyes fall upon a ghost in mortal flesh. Quinn Haze, seemingly alive, standing amongst the other infected.
Oh, poop butt, dude. What the hell? I'm not saying that in character.
And it's here where we will end the session for today,
Oh boy.
as all of you can take a level up.
Yay.
I
Thank
desperately
you.
need more stamina points. Holy shit. I have 45.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Right now I have 55 though. I just made it to 55.
What
Doing
level
well.
are you?
28.
Why are you 28?
I shouldn't. Hold on. Starting
Well,
at June
no,
8th.
because Vichu would have just hit 30, but I thought he was synced with everyone else.
Hold on, now let me go check, because...
I got no joke earlier this session. I was thinking, we still haven't seen Quinn yet.
Really, in the place with the miasmatic haze, you haven't seen Quinn? That's crazy.
I don't have a brain. But I've been missing them. I've been thinking about where that corpse went.
Uh-huh. The corpse that was strutting around? Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Hey, it happens, it happens. Sometimes the corpse walks around and says, "Hello, how you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way
That
these things go.
was a whirlwind first half of a session.
Really was.
Yeah, a lot happened.
Mm-hmm. Always
Uh,
action-packed in
how
the
mu-
Ascendant Garden.
How much of your actual prepped material did we go through? I assume not a lot.
10%. I
Yeah.
still don't have to prep next week.
I genuinely, like, going into the session, I was thinking, okay, so we got so many crows to deal with. It'll be a little difficult, but with Diane and Celeste with us, it probably shouldn't be that bad. And then Neza was just like, hang on, I'm jumping in a book.
Hang on, it's book time. So I said I gotta book it, and then I left.